For today's review, we're looking at a product from a company that's very well known in China and Asia. Yes, we are talking about Xiaomi, one of the up-and-coming competitors in the smartphone market. And today's review is about their newly released Xiaomi Redmi Note 3, which is an absolute beast in my opinion.
Hey everybody, this is Alvi from TechieTron, and this is the Xiaomi Redmi Note 3. I used this smartphone for about a week, and throughout this entire time period, I enjoyed using this quite a lot. It's got a 4000 mAh battery, 3 GB of RAM, and plenty of storage for my needs. So let's get into the in-depth review and tell you about this device in more detail.
Since this is the first time we're reviewing a Xiaomi device, I wanted to go through the unboxing a bit. The moment you take off the box, you have the device front and center. Now this is where all the documentation as well as the SIM ejector tool is housed. So as you can see, we got some paperwork and the SIM ejector tool. Other than that, in the box we have the wall wart as well as a micro USB charger. Now the funny thing is we don't get any headphones with this. So if you want to listen to music, you're going to have to find your own solution. This is the first time that Xiaomi has made a full metal unibody device, and the design execution over here is absolutely excellent. As you can see, the sides of the device are curved, which makes it very easy to hold in the hand. And the size of the device is not that big either, so one-handed operation for me was quite okay. On the bottom, as you can see, there is the Mi logo, and it looks quite stylish because it is in contrast and also metallic compared to the background. On the bottom we have a very long speaker grill, and when we go into the gaming section, you'll be able to hear how that performs. Up top is probably what I think one of the highlight features of the Xiaomi Redmi Note 3, and this is the fingerprint scanner. Now I say this because the fingerprint scanner is placed at just the perfect position, so whenever you're holding the device, your finger naturally just rests in this place, and it automatically unlocks the smartphone. You don't even need to switch on the screen. So that is one of the high points of this device, and I really appreciate that. Other than that, the symmetry between this and the camera also looks quite nice. The Redmi Note 3 is only 8.7mm thick, and I find this extraordinary because the battery is a massive 4000 mAh unit. Other than that, it weighs 164 grams and is also having some very nice and responsive buttons on the sides. For the display, we have an IPS panel at full HD resolution, that means 1920 by 1080 pixels, and the pixel density, if you're wondering, is 401 pixels per inch. As you can see, images look fantastic on this, and at 5.5 inches, this is obviously a phablet. Now phablets are obviously my favorite if you have known me for a while, and for good reason though. Color reproduction on this device is absolutely excellent, viewing angles aren't bad either, and the brightness levels are to my taste because, as you can see, I'm doing this entire part of the review outdoors, something that I can't usually do with all smartphones. Now to take a look at one particular photo, and that's this one. As you can see, if I zoom in, there's still a lot of detail, and that's because of the high pixel density as well as the very nice picture over here. The top part of the device houses the proximity sensor as well as a light sensor. And one thing I'd like to mention about this device is the range of brightness. As you can see, now it's set to max and I can comfortably video this outdoors, but it goes down very low, making it almost invisible right now. So if you're indoors and in the dark, you can use this comfortably as well. The bezels on the side are very nice and thin, which again contributes to making it easy to hold in one hand.
The software section will probably take the longest time, and that's because of MIUI 7. But I want to start off with the fingerprint scanner. So this is how you unlock the smartphone. And it's unlocked. It unlocks very fast, and I rarely ever had a misread. So that's a very integral part of this experience on the smartphone. As you can see here, we don't have stock Android. This is MIUI 7, and this is running a theme on the device. Now, the most important part about MIUI 7 is that it is highly customizable. As you can see here, the notifications and the application drawer, everything is just different, and that's because of MIUI 7. You can go into the theme store and check out whatever different types of user interface there are. You can make your phone look like an iOS device, a Windows device, or stock Android. And I actually chose this because I thought this was very nice and elegant. An interesting part about MIUI 7 is that it also has some custom gesture support. So if I swipe up, you can see I have a sort of spotlight search type of a thing, which I can use to get to stuff that I want. So for example, let's get into themes right now. And as you can see here, I'm in the theme store. Now there are a lot of themes available, but one thing I noticed is that, well, it's all in Chinese. Yeah, it's a little weird. I had to use Google Translate to figure my way out through this thing, but at the end of the day, I was comfortable using it and it didn't really bother me much. Now if I swipe down, As you can see, it opens up the notifications door as well as the toggles for quick toggles. If I swipe from here to this other side, I can just see and go over to the other side. It's great. There is no app drawer, if you will notice, and that's something that I would have liked, but then again, that's MIUI 7 for you. Some interesting aspects of this device's interface is that when you choose a theme, it also customizes the settings part. So right now, it's the settings are based around the theme that I have over here. But if I chose something that's a lollipop theme, then I'll be able to customize these and it'll look a lot more different. If you pinch in like this, you get the choice to choose choose adding widgets, changing the wallpaper, or even going through different effects such as the transition animations. So if I can choose this, as you can see, everything is custom built within the operating system. Let's keep that like this for now. An interesting part is one-handed mode, and this is a phablet, right? So if I go and swipe over from the home button to the recents, there we go, enter one-handed mode. Okay, now you can choose what size this becomes, and if I just go into settings here, as you can see, 4.5 inches, 4 inches, or 3.5 inches, based on which one you're more comfortable with. So this is a very handy feature for those of you with smaller hands. Other than that, it also has this sort of security suite which allows you to clean the RAM, check your data usage, or even have a block list or do a virus scan. So I think that's quite handy if you're into stuff like that. Moreover, an interesting part about this user interface is that it's extremely smooth, and that's what really made me like this, because usually when we see custom user interfaces, they're not very nice and smooth, they tend to lag, they have frame skipping and etc. And that's why I don't really like them. But this is not the case over here. I enjoyed using this. If I go into settings and about phone, you'll see that this smartphone's MIUI is based on 5.0.2 Lollipop. And based on that, it runs very smooth. And I think overall, I would need to make a separate video for MIUI 7 because there's so many things to cover, but I think I went over most of the things. If I missed something, please forgive me. And if you want me to do that in the future, just leave that in the comments below and I'll cover that. But all in all, the main camera on this device is a 13 megapixel phase detection autofocus unit with f2.2 aperture, and images taken with this are absolutely spectacular. Just look at this thing. Colors look so nice and accurate, everything is incredibly sharp, and other than that, if I go along, there's this one image. Oh, so this is the image taken by the front-facing camera, 5 megapixel unit. Very sharp, very nice, excellent quality of images produced here. Quite pleased with that. But as I was saying, the one image that I want to show is this one, and just look at the sharpness and detail on this. The focus is absolutely spot on. I just took out my camera, snapped this picture, and when I reviewed it, I was absolutely in love. I would not mind using this device as my daily driver because images taken with this, absolutely excellent quality. The shutter is also very fast, and you also have some very nifty features within the camera interface. So if you swipe down, like you see me do right now, if you swipe down, you get a number of different modes, such as the mosaic or different screen filters. And if you swipe from the bottom, you get such features like this. Now, I was interested with manual mode, but I was a little disappointed because all you get to do is select the ISO and white balance. So it's not really a true manual mode or anything like that. But other than that, this camera is very feature rich. You can do a lot with this. And oops, yep. It takes excellent photos. So to start off the performance section, I'm going to go into the Antutu benchmark and show you the score. And this thing is pretty darn impressive. We have a score of 52,448. Now, one thing that's interesting about this is, like, look here. The moment I enter a benchmark application, it says, looks like you're running a benchmark. So you can select between a performance mode and a balance mode. And within the system itself, you can go and choose a performance mode when you're playing games. Right now I have this switched off and now I just switched it on. So what that does is it gets more horsepower out of the device, and it results in a better score when you're using performance, but you can also check your score when you're using balanced. So let's get out of this Antutu benchmark and tell you a bit about the specifications. Now, we have a Helio X10 processor which is clocked at 2 GHz running the show over here. And other than that, we have 3 GB of RAM. And that, in my opinion, is way more than enough that you need to run such intensive tasks like Modern Combat 5, FIFA 16 Ultimate Team, and whatnot. So, as I did mention Modern Combat 5, let's just go in and play the game. And here, you'll be able to see something interesting. Yep, the game was saved in the RAM in the background. Stupid internet connection. So as you observed, the gameplay was very smooth, and that was kind of what we expected because we set the device to performance mode, and that really makes a very significant difference in terms of how the frame rates work as well as how smoothly the game runs. So performance on this device is not an issue, and whatever games you play, especially this game, Modern Combat 5, you're going to get a very enjoyable experience. The Redmi Note 3 has a 4000 mAh battery which is sealed inside, and the battery life was pretty awesome because I got 2 days of full use without much hassle. So as you can see, the main battery hog is definitely the screen. It's taking up 76% of the power that I've got. But when you have a 1080p screen, that's kind of what you expect. And still, the fact that it gave me 2 days of backup is a pretty big deal. Here I have a screenshot of it taking just 21 hours and 58 minutes off of my total time. But the thing is, if you go into the battery part of the application, it's going to show you a much longer battery use. So over here, where did it go? Yep, power. It shows that with 75% battery, I'm going to get 2 days and 6 hours of battery life. And that actually is not the case. I'm not going to get anywhere near 2 days and 6 hours more of use with this much battery. So do note that this reading is not very reliable. And if you want to save some battery, you can take use of the battery saver or just create custom battery profiles.
It's conclusion time, and before I get into any further details, I just want to point out that I enjoyed reviewing the smartphone, and that is probably the most important part of this review, because if I don't personally enjoy reviewing anything, I don't want to recommend it to anybody else. And this is not the case here. I would definitely recommend the smartphone. This actually surprised me quite a lot because of MIUI 7. I did not expect myself to enjoy a custom-made user interface that's so different from Android. But at the end of the day, I did not switch to my stock launcher, and I enjoyed using this quite a lot. This smartphone has an excellent build quality, made of full body aluminum, and it also has excellent performance in tow with that. And you get 3GB of RAM, enough storage, and a 4000 mAh battery with the package that's 8.7mm thin. So that was something that I really appreciated, because I'm not in favor of making smartphones thinner and thinner and sacrificing on battery life, if you guys know me at all. It also has a notification LED, and that's one thing that I'm a big advocate for. Other than that, the screen is awesome, and the camera also is awesome. And I really found it difficult to actually point out any negatives on this device. So if you want to purchase this device, you can get it from Gadget Gang 7 at 22,700 taka. And without any more wasting time, I just want to tell you, I recommend the smartphone. And if you're within that budget range, just get it. This is a good buy, and I can guarantee you will enjoy the user experience. Thank you for watching our review. If you like this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, because that really helps us a lot. And find us on Facebook and share our videos and articles. Thank you very much, and stay tuned for more videos just like this.